Good morning everyone, my name is Crystal and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today is Friday. Good morning. This is the day after I've been to Margate. So yesterday I enjoyed myself. There was no anger, it was fun. It was wet and it was rainy yesterday at Margate, but it was fun, right? I am battling gang stalking. For anybody that doesn't know what gang stalking is, it's pretty harsh, it's pretty nasty, it's pretty evil. It's organised gang stalking by my neighbours and the neighbourhood, and I think it's more widespread than that. When you're stalked, followed, harassed, noise disturbance, sleep deprivation, just organised gang stalking by my neighbours in the neighbourhood. Because I stood up for what I believed in and reported sexual abuse to the police several times, not just once. They did nothing about it. I'm well entitled to sue the police and sue the social services, but they know that to sue you need a lot of money, so they restrict my money as well. My money is restricted. Once upon a time I had a good job that earned good money, but I had a partner that was being abusive towards me. I suffered domestic violence and I ended up losing my home. So that is another thing that happens. They restrict your money. Financial abuse. So it starts off with domestic violence. With me, it started off with domestic violence, and now it's led to this horrendous gang stalking because I reported sexual abuse to the police. Right? So whistleblowers get gang stalked. They get gang stalked. They get followed, harassed, and forced to shut up by the tactics that these people use. Okay? So I'm being gang stalked, I'm being followed about and harassed by my neighbours, and my son is trying to help me get out of this flat because he knows it's affecting my mental health. It's also affecting my physical health at times as well, especially when you don't get any sleep. So there was gang stalking on the train to Margate. So I got up yesterday morning. I had a WhatsApp message from my son telling me that he was coming down and I was to meet him on the train coming down to Margate. So I went up to the train station about 20 to 11. The train was due about 10:57. I didn't go into the co-op because there's a lady in the co-op, right, that knows all about me, and I didn't want to give any information out to anybody in the co-op, and I just wanted a peaceful time because I get gang stalked in the co-op. Funny characters come in the co-op. Some of them are intimidating and nasty, and I didn't want to be in a mood before I got on the train because I was okay. I knew what I was going to go through because I know that every day of my life. I go through it every day, and it's difficult enough on my own, but when I'm with somebody I don't want to get cross and upset them. So I was on the platform and I've been watching Mr. TikTok, UK TikTok official on TikTok, and he's a short man with a shaven head with blonde hair. He's about my height and he wears a cap on the side of his head and he carries a big backpack over his back. So I was on the railway station on platform 2, right at the end, just waiting for my son to arrive on the train to Margate. So basically, I started filming with my camera. I wasn't live streaming, because then everybody knows exactly where you are when you're live streaming. So I was just doing a video for YouTube. And so passengers arrived opposite platform 2. There was a lady with a bun in her hair that was blue. I had a bun in my hair. They mimic, they imitate. Whatever I upload to Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, they imitate the photographs, imitate it. Because gang stalkers do that, they mimic and they take the piss. They mimic the way you walk, they mimic your clothes, because that they know that upsets you. They know that makes you feel horrible. And I've been getting over that. It's only just after it's about this last week that I've started like feeling a bit more susceptible to their bullying and their harassment. It's just got on top of me again. I got over it for about a month and they were pissed off and they left me alone. They did. Now they've started again because they think they can control me, and I will not be controlled. No. There's no such thing as a fucking devil. I don't believe in witchcraft or devil worship. I don't believe in them. They are horrible people that need to be taught a lesson. And if they pick on me, they will be. I don't want them. They're irritating, like gremlins, like fucking things you detest. Go away. Piss off. So the train was delayed by about 6 minutes, and more people were coming onto platform opposite 2. And there was versions of my son with a cap on and shorts and a t-shirt. There's version of Mr. UK TikTok official. They go down my YouTube and they replicate the people that I've uploaded. It's really weird. They're weird. They've got no mind of their own. Why are they copying me and my life all the time? Copying me and my YouTube. Haven't they got anything else better to do? So last time I got on the wrong train and it was going to Dover Priory. But I didn't get on the wrong train. I got on the right train, met my son, and he was on the last coach. And I sat next to my son, and the train was packed. And he told me it was packed. And it was full, packed full. And there was 2 girls, 2 females. One had glasses, and she kept yabba, 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 yabba with her mate, telling her what she was uploading to Facebook. I was trying to listen to my son. I was being distracted, but I paid attention to my son, even though these 2 women were fucking annoying me. There was a woman opposite reading a book with thick ankles, really thick, large ankles like Chelsea Leart, a woman that I have been watching on TikTok. So I managed to stay on that train. I was sat near the window. I couldn't exactly leave the train or get out. So I was listening. It was loud. It was noisy. It was horrible. And before I'd got that train, Chelsea Leart said someone had told her off for playing music on the train, and she said she played it for about 30 seconds and someone told her to be quiet. So every person on the train was noisy, not just one. Every person on that train was making a noise, and they were talking so loud I could hear everything they were saying. And it was driving me bonkers inside my head. But I had to keep my cool because I was with my son. They were so fucking rude. All of them. A train full of actors and actresses, a whole fucking train full of loud yabba 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 yabba. I painted my toenails last night. I did this and I did that. All wanting attention off of me. All of them. So I kept quiet. And my son, I'll show you what my son got me to eat on the train now. Don't know who's doing this, but they're mad. It's not me that's mad. They're absolutely fucking crazy. You can't leave me alone. Absolutely ridiculous. So my son, love at first bite. Love at first bite, this bag. It's a squashed croissant. And I'm going to have that with a cup of tea later on today. Love at first bite. Croissant. Kellogg's Nutri-Grain strawberry bar. And a banana. Still got the banana, it's got squashed. I wasn't hungry. They were making me feel so shit on that train, I couldn't eat. They were making me feel ill, sick. I don't want to hear what they had for lunch, what they were doing in the evening, what they were uploading to Facebook. Oh, I was uploading a picture of my toenails to Facebook. Really? How interesting. Oh my God. Bitches. So I sat there, endured that. I said to my son, have you got a headache? Because I said I have. If I'd have been on my own and it was my son, I would have put earphones in my ears. It was horrific. It was terrible. I never told my mother I was going to Margate. I told her I was going out. I didn't say which day, and I didn't say where. It's like I told my mother when I was moving into this flat, and then I got trouble afterwards. When I told my mother I was going out with my son this week, but I didn't say which day and I didn't say where. And then lo and behold, the train is packed full of a bunch of stupid nincompoops. When it was, the train was so full, it was like London. When we got to Margate, it was like London. There was people packed, so you could hardly walk on the platform, up the steps. It was like London. It was awful. So I managed to get up the stairs. We managed to get off at Margate Station and walk to the seafront. And there was people in the sea. It wasn't sunny. It was overcast. It was spitting. There was people in the sea. There was people on the sand. Fortunately, it rained later on during the day, and there was not. The beach was not packed, because usually it's full of cannabis. With kids on the beach, it's full of cannabis normally. When I go out with my son to the beach, it's full of cannabis. And kids are running about, there's smoking drugs, listening to loud radios, dogs everywhere. The dogs, there was loads of dogs to start with, and there were people on the beach to start with, and someone was playing music to start with, but the weather was so bad, they disappeared. They all disappeared. There was a stench of cannabis near the amusements. We went in the amusement arcades, and they get jealous when I'm with somebody. It doesn't matter who it is. These gang stalkers get jealous when I'm with somebody. And there was women coming into the amusements with, I've got chopped off jeans that are rolled up at the bottom. They were coming into the amusements dressed up with dirty, greasy hair, big, fat, chunky legs with my jeans on. And they were deliberately trying to spoil the time with me and my son. Deliberately. I started when I was on amusement arcade, I was on my own, and then I started putting 2 pences in the machine. 2 women came over and started picking on me while my son was on a machine playing bingo. I was on a machine with 2 pences, and 2 bullies came over and tried to upset me. And I just walked away from them. I didn't say a word because I was with someone. I don't want to spoil my son's enjoyment, right? So women bullying me, I ignored it. I just went over and waited for my son to finish playing the game he was playing. Went out the amusements, and I told you the meal was disgusting. It was absolutely vile. It was absolutely horrible. The chips were nasty. They were so sharp they cut my mouth and I couldn't chew them. And I tried to finish the meal, but it was so disgusting I couldn't eat it. Beano's Cafe in Margate was disgusting. And I believe somebody else had left their chips as well. They were absolutely horrible. The chips were disgusting. The omelette was like rubber. It's supposed to be light and fluffy. Had a lovely ice cream. But it was the train back home again. My son sat behind 2 people that kept yabba 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 all the way yapping. And when they finally got off, and I thought we was going to have some peace and quiet, when they finally got off, they also left this leaflet behind. It's got Ashford on it. Waxing. I've never had any threading or waxing. So they've underlined a full face recommended service, a full wax on your face. This is what the couple on the way to Rochester had left on the train. A full face wax, thoroughly recommended. Right? Ashford Mall. Ashford. She's put a fantastic customer service. A full face facial wax. That was left on the train. Bullies. Absolute disgusting bullies. They are being put on that train on purpose to bully. They must have been paid actors and actresses. Absolutely. Anyway. My son wanted to get to St Pancras, so we got off that train so my son could get on the train to St Pancras. The train we was on was going to Victoria. Otherwise he would have had to have got off at Rochester. So we got on the train to St Pancras, and another bunch of nutters on there. Absolute nutters. Taking a piss out of me, and some of them, they hadn't washed their hair. It was all greasy. They were more larger than me. They were taking the mickey out of me on that train. They fucking were. And I had to put up with it because I was with somebody. Who comes on the train and starts singing about teeth? Come on. What normal person comes on the train, the carriage I'm on, and starts singing about teeth? Seriously? Popping cans, bashing the toilet door, making a nuisance of themselves. On the carriage I'm on, not any other carriage, the carriage I'm on, there's trouble. Intimidating people. I enjoyed myself. I enjoyed the day out. It's very quiet. It was the trains. Because they couldn't annoy on the beach with their drugs and their crap and their music, they was annoying on the trains. And you have to sit on a train, especially if it's packed full and you can't move. It's horrible. The trains were horrible. There was a lot of security about, and my son noticed it. He took a photograph of 2 security guards coming towards us at Dreamland. When we went to go home, there was 2 nasty big blokes outside Margate train station demanding to see me and my son's ticket. And we had electronic tickets, and my son, you know, because I get all flustered, 2 large, officious looking men stood outside like this, outside the Margate railway station, and my son showed my ticket to the men for me, showed his ticket, we went through, and my son said, "What's going on here? What's going on here? Never seen anything like it." And then when I got off the train at Rochester, they were trying to cause trouble. They were barring my way down the stairs. When I got off the station, there was a couple talking on the stairs, and I just walked to the side. And then I had trouble with my ticket, and these blokes were like taking the piss out of me because I had trouble with my ticket. But the ticket was paid for by my son, and my son wasn't with me. He was on the train to London, so I had to deal with these blokes myself. And I felt intimidated and a bit like, what the fuck's going on here? And he had to say something demeaning to me. Had to do it. Show me up in front of people. They have to do it. And I just said nothing and walked on. Never said a word to them. And there was lads kicking balls at the railway station as I was coming out the railway station. I ignored them and I just walked home. Intimidating, horrible behaviour. I got into my flat, I had a parcel, and I had to walk my dog, and I had trouble on the field with a strange woman that was obviously had a screw loose and was following me about the field and letting her dogs run willy-nilly near mine, and then trying to start something with me. And yes, I did tell her to piss off. I'd been on my feet all day. I'd had noise in my ears. No, I just wanted to walk my dog in peace, not be followed about by a nutcase. So yes, I did tell her to piss off. Bear in mind, guys, I'm a woman. I'm not a fella. I'm a woman. I'm not a bloke. I'm a woman. So I did tell a woman to piss off. She was following me. She was preventing me from getting past when I wanted to walk past, and I told her to piss off. I don't know. I don't want a relationship with a woman. It's 9 times out of 10, it's a woman harassing me and following me about, or that Charlie. I know no one's going to help me, so I have to get them out the way myself. And if you keep following me about and fucking getting your dogs to jump over my little chihuahua, I am going to tell you to piss off. And if you don't like it, that's your problem. I mean, I'm a nice, quiet person, and I think I've been too soft with people. I think I've been too soft with people, and they need to know that this is not on. You know, intimidating my dog, following me about, just being stupid and silly, and you can cause somebody some harm. And I said to her, I said, you're telling me off because my dog's defending itself, and your dogs have just come around and tried to get to attack my dog. And I said, piss off. And she knows she was in the wrong. She didn't do anything because she knows she was in the wrong. And for the next one, I've got the camera ready. Don't start that again, because you get reported to the bloody council. And we've got to deal with those homeless guys as well. They shouldn't be on that field. They've been put there for a reason. Why? They're obviously getting benefit, these homeless guys, yeah? They're getting benefit. And they're spending it on drugs and drink, and they end up in a tent on the field, but they're wearing Nike clothing, they're wearing Adidas clothing, they've got bicycles, they're buying beer. So it's maybe someone's paying them to like piss me off for a couple of months and see if I leave my flat, because I was told to fucking move, wasn't I? By a neighbour pretending to swear at his dog. I want to move. My son is in the process of trying to get me emergency housing, because this is ridiculous. And last night they started. Well, it's the school holidays, guys, and this woman's children are walking around the corridors at 2 and 3 in the morning. He took the rubbish out at 2 in the middle of the night, banging the door, just trying to cause an argument. Her child was taking the rubbish down to the bin at 2 in the morning, banging around in the bin store and slamming the front door shut, trying to cause an argument. I don't want to live stream. I don't want to go into people's live streams. I don't want to. I just don't want to anymore. Anyway, guys, gang stalking at its worst yesterday. I've survived it. This morning, someone coughed underneath my window, like the guy upstairs, about 7:30, outside my window. They're starting that fucking devil's cough business again. I will try my hardest not to get cross. It's very difficult. You must try to ignore their behaviour. Some people get so wound up and stressed from lack of sleep. They've attacked a gang stalker, and that's just what they want. The best thing to do is take your camera out, record the street theatrics, and record what they're saying and doing as evidence in case it goes to a court, or they try and say you've done this and you've got evidence it's them, right? You must never hit them. Never. That's exactly what they want. They're thugs. They deprive you of sleep. They make you so tired. You get angry quickly. It's best to tape it, and then if they report you, you've got evidence it's them that was doing it. I always take my camera outside, and they don't care what they're dressed like. They don't care what they're doing. And when I first started filming, I got threatened with physical violence. This was going back when my dad was alive. I noticed something weird was going on, the way I was being treated, how the police weren't helping me. And I started taping what I was seeing, and this bloke said, "Get the fucking camera away from me." And I actually wasn't filming him, I was filming something else. And he got in the way of the camera and he went, "Get the fucking camera away from me." So they are doing something they shouldn't be doing because they don't want you to film them. See you later.